The authorities in Iran have arrested a female student after she staged a solo protest against harassment by stripping to her underwear outside her university. The woman, who's not been identified, had been harassed, apparently, inside the prestigious Tehran Azad University of Science and Research by members of the Basij militia, who's, it's reported, ripped her headscarf and clothes. She then took off her clothes in protest and sat outside the university dressed in her underwear before defiantly walking in the street. Now, under the dress code, of course, mandatory in Iran, women must wear a headscarf in public and loose-fitting clothes that cover all bodily contours. Her fate at this stage, unknown. Well, let's talk now to Kian Habibian, who's co-founder of We Are Iranian Students. Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us on the programme. I mean, looking at these images, it's obviously a very, very courageous thing for this woman to do.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very brave act on her part. But the thing is that before this event took place, as you said, she has been assaulted by a Basiji agent. So the Basijis are a militia that is founded by the regime. And we have received numerous complaints for the past weeks, months, about assaults taking place in universities. And it is also based in a place and in a country where men have more rights than women. So whether their clothing is correct or not, these Basijis think that they are allowed to do anything they want, and especially against women. So we cannot know for sure how her dressing was that day, but the thing that we know is that these Basijis are going to abuse their rights and are going to assault them.
And presumably now she's going to be punished for something which, you know, you could well argue was nothing to do with her in the first place.
Yeah, of course. So the risk for her now, so the first reports we received indicated a violent arrest and with possible head trauma and with blood on the site. And she has been taken to a psychiatric institution, and that's what the regime does every time someone does something like that in Iran. They want to have this narrative again around the fact that any woman without a scarf or any woman who is resisting against the laws of the Islamic Republic is crazy. But the fact is that she's not crazy. She is free as a human being to dress however she wants, and she should absolutely not be worried about her physical appearance when she is in public.
So do men feel they can do whatever they want?
That's literally the law there. I mean, if she wanted to file a complaint against that man, she would have to bring two testimonies to counter the one testimony coming from the other side. And this woman, who has actually been identified this morning, Ahu Daryai, she's 30 years old. She was studying French language in this university. And we can completely understand that she simply snapped and decided to show her courage in face of the horrific laws that have been implemented by the regime and that are going on in the same university and academic spaces.
We've been getting more and more reports, haven't we, of tighter and tighter controls on people, notably women, of course, after that uprising after the death of Mahsa Amini.
Yeah, exactly. So for the past 46 years, as soon as the Islamic Republic was established, they had a focus on women's rights, and they did their best to take away from women in Iran every right they had. And I remember a few months ago when we were talking about Pezeshkian, who could be a possible reformist coming at the head of the country, and people were saying that change could come. But where's the change now? I mean, he's not the first reformist, and we see tighter and tighter rules against women. Actually, the laws against women who do not wear a scarf are even more violent. Now they risk up to 10 years of prison and 72 lashes. And so that's a clear sign that this regime does not intend to give more freedom or to change. They hate their population, especially women, and they do everything they can to block every right they have.
And finally, I mean, do you have any hope at all? Are there any positive signs? I mean, it must be very difficult for you and groups like yours to be able to interject and do anything about the situation.
Well, the hope is right here. I mean, as long as there is one woman, as long as there is one singer who is going to sing about the pain of the people, hope remains. I mean, sure, there are not as many protests as there were 2 years ago, but people started to resist in different ways. There is civil disobedience, as we can see. People keep singing. People tag names in the streets. And that means that hope still remains, and it is our duty as organizations who are trying to observe the human rights violations to make sure that these students and these people in Iran have a platform to speak up as soon as they want to address the repression that they're facing.
Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us today. Kian Habibian, co-founder of We Are Iranian Students. Thank you very much.